Hey everybody, this is Evan Abrams, and today I'd like to talk to you about a topic that seems to be pretty newsworthy right now. We are moving from Adobe CS to Adobe CC for Creative Cloud, and it creates a bit of a stir out there because we're moving from what was essentially a purchase option to what is now a subscription only model. Now there's a lot of strong feelings out there, but I just figured I'd shed some facts on it for you so that you can perhaps make an informed decision, or at least we can stir up some controversy in the comments. So basically what's changing is before you could purchase something like physical CDs or like a download and you're purchasing it, right? So you're buying the thing in its current version, and then the next year you'd have to buy an upgrade or whatever to that version in order to get the latest stuff. So think of it like you're buying a car. You go to the dealership, you pay a lot of money, you get the big thing. So for the whole Creative Suite, I think it was like $2,700, at least when I was looking at it last, and that was one upfront payment. It's all yours. Now, the new system is going on a subscription model. So it says Creative Cloud, but it's better you think about it like leasing, because you still download all the files and you still use it all on your local computer. So it's not like you're reaching through the cloud to somewhere else to work on someone else's computer. It still requires you to have the hardware and all that stuff. You're paying for the right to use that tool. So we're moving from, again, buying something to renting it or leasing it. So this is like leasing a car. So you go in and then you get this year's model and then you drive it for a year. And with a car, you can't get any dings on it. You can't do fun stuff in the back seat unless you leave stains, but you can leave as many stains on the Creative Cloud software as you want, because at the end of it, they don't take the car back, they just revoke the keys. So I guess it sits in your driveway. Anyway, the point is you're leasing a tool to do a job. So here's the complaints on either side. On the one hand, a lot of people were complaining that it has a high upfront cost. So let's say I'm just starting out. I have to buy something that's $2,700 off the get-go to have all the tools I need to do my job. Now, of course, you can buy bits and pieces of the software, but let's just compare, the total package to the total package, because the cheapest option for the most stuff is buying everything. So as a new business, you buy everything off the get-go. You're out $2,700 as soon as you start. Doors open, you're in the red. Now you have to do a bunch of work for clients in order to make the money back and put yourself in the black. So you can pay other things like rent on your office and all your marketing costs and food, keeping yourself alive, paying any staff, any of that stuff. So you might be pretty far in the red by the time you're out of the month, but you'll eventually climb your way back in as you recoup all of those upfront costs. Under the new method, on the first month, that first cost is down to $50. That is what it is for month one. So that's like one job or 1 hour of one job, depending on how much you charge. But at the end of the day, that's it. That's all you have to do. Put yourself in the black, is make more than $50 a month, and your tools are paid off. And then you can spend the rest of the money paying for a foosball table or whatever you have in your hipster office. But that's sort of the economics of it. And I think the idea was that they'll use this to get more entrance into the space. So you have a lot of new students who are graduating who don't get that student discount anymore. They still want to stay current with their software, so they can either shell out to get the new version or pay the upgrade cost, or you can get them on the subscription model. And the other thing is that in some countries, so we're looking at Indonesia, India, places like this, where the dollar is not as good, $50 a month is still pretty high, but it's a lot more manageable than the amazingly high cost of $2,700 US. So one of the arguments against the Creative Cloud is that the subscription might end. So let's say 5 years down the road, there's a time when you've made a bunch of stuff, you have a body of work, it's great stuff, but 5 years down the road, you've been paying $50 a month, so you're at about, $3,000 into this thing. I think that math lines up. I don't care. So you're $3,000 in, that's about the same as you would have paid in year one, and then there's some upgrade costs along the way, but, $50 a month, 5 years later, you want to stop paying. Well, then that's it. You no longer rent the tool, so you no longer have access to do the work or edit the work you've already done. So it's like you lose access to the stuff that you've made and all of the things, and you can't really show off, but hopefully you've rendered everything, because that's it. Your doors are shut because you don't have your tools anymore. Now, for a lot of people, that's disquieting because, after that amount of time, or if they want to skip an upgrade or something, they want to stop paying, they want to cut costs. As soon as you cut that cost, then it's over and your doors are shut. So that's one of those things where it becomes an essential expense to always be paying that upgrade fee. And it kind of makes you hungry to keep that cash flow going. So there are, of course, a lot of arguments for and against, but I think that about sums up the two big sides of it. I personally went in on the Creative Cloud nonsense just because I wanted to get my hands on the latest stuff, and I don't actually mind the cash flow move that's happening all the time, and I did like some of the fancy editions. And the other thing is I dislike physical CDs. They make me unhappy. Physical things are annoying to me. I guess then, well, why don't you just download it and pay a big upfront cost? Well, I don't like doing that either. I prefer small payments, over a long period of time. That's why I rent an apartment and I rent an office. And when I need to make a deck, I rent power tools and all that good stuff, I'm kind of a minimalist person in that way. But, certainly everybody has their stance on this thing, and I'd love to see where you guys weigh in on it. Neither side is wrong, is the other thing to remember, that there are good points to both, and just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't make them wrong or a dum-dum or a poo-poo head. They just believe in a different concept of this ownership, and they have different plans and they have different ideas that change how comfortable they are with using tools and software. If I was a carpenter, I'd feel way more comfortable if I owned the drills and hammers and all that stuff that I was taking out to the job site every day. But that's because those are tools that I find I have a much more physical need to have. Software is intangible, so I don't feel that same connection to it. Anyway, this is rambling. I'm Evan Abrams. This is my first attempt at vlogging about VFX and motion graphics stuff that comes up in the news. So I'd love to see what you guys think of Creative Cloud versus the old buying thing. So, I guess buying versus renting. Let the battle begin in the comments. Usually this channel is about tutorials. There's a new one that comes out every Saturday. So if that's the kind of thing you enjoy more, then you should subscribe to this channel. If you do like hearing me blah, blah, blah about things, that might happen more on Tuesdays, but Saturday's tutorial day, so you should definitely stick around for that. I'm Evan Abrams. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter if you like motion graphics, and get involved on the Facebook because I post things on there too. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time for more hilarious staring up my nose hijinks. Thanks, and have a nice day.